Have you ever apologized for something and later realized you didn't do anything wrong? Not because you suddenly became wiser, but because in that moment, something inside you felt uncertain, unsteady, as if your own memory had betrayed you. You remember the conversation clearly. You remember the tone. You remember the words. And yet somehow they looked at you with such certainty and said, "That never happened." You're imagining things. You're too sensitive, and slowly you believed them. This is the beginning of gaslighting. Not loud, not violent, but quiet, precise, psychological. Gaslighting is not about controlling your actions. It's about controlling your perception. Because once someone controls how you see reality, they no longer need to control you directly. You will control yourself. Imagine this. A woman named Sarah confronts her partner. She says calmly, "Yesterday you promised you'd come home early." "I waited." He pauses, then calmly replies, "I never promised that. You must have misunderstood." She hesitates, because she remembers. She's almost sure she remembers, but his confidence is unsettling. His certainty feels stronger than her memory, so her brain does something strange. It doesn't defend her truth. It questions it. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe it's my fault. This is how gaslighting works, not by force, but by planting doubt. Human memory is not a perfect recording. It's fragile, flexible, emotional. Psychologists have discovered that memory is reconstructive, not reproductive. This means every time you remember something, you are not replaying it, you are rebuilding it. And manipulators exploit this weakness. They don't erase your memory. They contaminate it. And here's the paradox. The more empathetic, self-aware, and emotionally intelligent you are, the easier it is to gaslight you. Because empathetic people question themselves more than they question others. They assume responsibility. They assume maybe they were wrong. They assume maybe they hurt someone unintentionally. And manipulators quietly use this empathy as a weapon against them. Think about it. A confident manipulator and a self-reflective victim. One asserts, the other questions. Who wins? Over time, something deeper begins to break. Not your memory, not your intelligence, your trust in yourself. You stop saying, "I remember." You start saying, "I think I remember." That one word, think, is where your certainty dies. Gaslighting is psychological. Erosion, slow, invisible, like water wearing down stone. Not dramatic enough for others to notice, but devastating enough to change who you are. And the scariest part, it doesn't feel like manipulation. It feels like confusion. You don't feel controlled. You feel lost. Lost between what you experienced and what you're being told you experienced. Lost between your inner voice and their louder voice. And slowly, without realizing it, their voice becomes your reality. But this raises a deeper question. If someone can make you doubt your own reality, who are you without your certainty? And more importantly, how do you find your way back? Gaslighting doesn't just make you question events. It makes you question yourself, your emotions, your instincts, your intuition. You stop trusting the quiet signals inside you. Imagine this scenario. You feel hurt by something someone said. It stings, it feels disrespectful. Your body reacts instantly. Tight chest, heavy stomach, restless thoughts. But when you express it, they respond with calm dismissal. You're overreacting. It was just a joke. Why are you always so dramatic? And suddenly the focus shifts. Not on what they said, but on your reaction. Not on their behavior, but on your sensitivity. This is psychological inversion. The manipulator moves the spotlight away from their action and onto your reaction. And over time, you begin to suppress your emotional signals. You stop saying, "That hurt me." You start saying, "Maybe I'm too sensitive." This is how gaslighting disconnects you from yourself. Psychologically, humans rely on internal feedback systems, emotions, intuition and memory, and to navigate reality. These systems are like your internal compass. Gaslighting doesn't break the compass. It convinces you the compass is broken, so you stop using it. And when you stop using your internal compass, you become dependent on external validation. You start needing their approval to confirm what is real. You start asking them questions you should be asking yourself. Was that wrong? Am I overthinking? Did that really happen? This is not weakness. This is conditioning. Your brain adapts to survive psychological conflict. It chooses certainty over truth. And when someone provides certainty, even false certainty, your brain clings to it. Because uncertainty feels dangerous, the manipulator becomes your source of stability. Ironically, the same person destabilizing you becomes the person you depend on. This is the cruel paradox of gaslighting. The poison disguises itself as medicine, and slowly, you begin performing a version of yourself that is easier for them to control. You speak less. You question less. You doubt yourself more. You shrink. Not because you are weak, but because your mind is trying to protect you from conflict, rejection, and emotional chaos. But here's the truth. Manipulators don't want you to realize your confusion is not proof that you are broken. It is proof that something is wrong around you. Confusion is not your natural state. Clarity is. Peace is your default state, not anxiety, not constant self-doubt. Gaslighting works because it separates you from yourself. And healing begins when you reconnect. When you start listening to that quiet voice again. The one that says, that did happen. That did hurt. That was not okay. Your reality does not need their permission to exist. Your emotions do not need their approval to be valid. Your truth does not become false just because someone denies it. Because at the end of the day, the most dangerous prison is not when someone controls your life. It's when someone controls your mind and convinces you that you cannot trust yourself. And the moment you begin trusting yourself again, the manipulation loses its power. Not instantly, not dramatically, but quietly. The same way it began. One truth, one realization, one moment of clarity at a time.